Okay, hey, I am so appreciative of Kimberly's channel because I feel like she's getting to like she's really starting to talk about shit that I want to break down. Mm, for a couple reasons, mostly because I grew up in a family of entertainers and I feel like nobody talks about this. So she has a video where she's talking about how this other creator made a video that was criticizing Beyonce's Renaissance and it was anti-black. I want to just describe why she's right. Let me see if I can fix the lighting here. Oh, sorry. I've got a light. Sometimes it like fucks up. Like it does now. Oh, great. I hate it here. Okay. Anyway, so now basically here's the thing. Like, if you haven't seen, Halle Berry did a documentary on Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge is the person who inspired Marilyn Monroe. If you know who Marilyn Monroe is, then you should probably know who Dorothy Dandridge is, but the reason that you probably don't is because of racism. So there's this classic moment in the film where Dorothy Dandridge goes to this hotel. She's like a big movie star at this point, and she gets into the pool of the hotel, and the hotel drains the water at the pool because she's black. And that moment to me when I was growing up really stuck out because I'm like, I was looking at Dorothy Dandridge and how amazing, how beautiful she was, just all the things, right? And in my mind, I couldn't understand. I was like, there's no way people could be racist against someone that beautiful. Like like because when you think about it, like we've seen enough people from across the world, right? And like I feel like if we're comparing like international beauties, like she's like really high up there. And so if you're hating her, that means you're hating like half of the people on the beauty scale, maybe even more than half of the people. And you're basically saying that you only like people who are white. And we know at this point that like the most beautiful women on the world on planet Earth are just not white. Some of them are white, but not like most of them. Like a few are, but not really most of them. So that's a really strange thing to actually have someone get online and come into the world and be like, "Oh yeah, we hate this like beautiful woman." Like in reality, nobody hates beautiful women. Rich men across the world have shown us all they like beautiful women. They like Asian beautiful women, black beautiful women, white beautiful women. In every single society, there will be a place for beautiful women, even if it's simply on the hand of a rich man, like the Marilyn Monroe documentary shows us, right? We'll talk about that another day. But here's the reason why I think this woman is strange. So she liked the Dua Lipa tracks, which are very similar to the Beyonce tracks, like Cuff It. And she's giving all this critique of like why she doesn't like Renaissance. Now, here's the thing that I will say about music. Um, if you are a consumer of just like really good music, then you could listen to the most recent like Taylor Swift albums and you would get it. You would just be like, okay, this is good. Or you would listen to Harry Styles, Harry's House, and you would understand like why it's good. And you would listen probably to some of the like take off that music and be like, you would understand why it's like bad. Like people are critiquing these albums. Like I have critiqued this music and talked about how some artists are actually really trash. Like I'm sorry, but I don't think that Future is a talented artist. Maybe I haven't explored his catalog very much, or like how Lauryn Hill is like an actual really great artist lyrically, or how like Outkast is like an incredible like musical artist, or like the Dave Matthews Band. Or really, we could talk about like more contemporary music, like Harry's House and Renaissance, or like Red by Taylor Swift, Evermore by Taylor Swift. This Is Why, the new Paramore albums that came out. Like the if you are a consumer of like really good music, people are putting out good music. Like good musicians are putting out good music. Now, I'm not going to say like the people that are putting out the best music. Like I do think like Florence and the Machine, completely underrated. They're putting out incredible music, but they're not getting like maybe the type of fan support that they should be getting. Whatever, though, that doesn't stop them from being really incredible artists, right? Like people who understand artistry, people who can like other artists understand that like Florence and the Machine are fucking great artists, and that's never gonna change, even if you guys don't listen to the work. It's still really good. So this girl gets on and she talks about how she thinks like the Dua Lipa songs are so great. Now, Dua Lipa is an okay pop artist. Dua Lipa is not great. Like, she won't go down in history as like some magnificent pop artist, but currently she's actually the only pop artist that we really have. I think Doja Cat is incredibly untalented. Like, I can't describe it. Doja Cat got on herself and told you guys how awful her last two albums were. She didn't even try at all. And I just think that Doja Cat as a person is just like incredibly unattractive. And I mean, she's been making like the bare, like her pop music is literally like beep beep bop 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 bop, and it's like a track over it, and you guys start like popping that shit over and over. I will say like Ariana Grande, I just don't know if I could classify her as a pop artist because so many of her songs were like R&B, written by like R&B artists. I think Seven wrote so many of her songs, and like actual R&B artists like wrote Ariana Grande's tracks. So that's why I can't sit here and literally be like, oh yeah, like Ariana Grande is a pop artist. Maybe, though a lot of her songs are poppy. So like Seven Rings is a pop track. But Renaissance, if we're talking about music, go look at the credits on the Renaissance album. Like, I know a lot of people think that just because Beyonce's face is all over the album, Beyonce is getting up and like singing the songs, that like she's the only person you have to credit behind the album. But actually, I think I have it. Let me grab it. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah. So I have it here. This is the Renaissance track. It is the vinyl tape, and so what they give you is like this. Sorry. What they give you is this book, and in the book is like all the credits on the songs. So it's like all the people who contribute. Like, it's a lot of it is lyrics to the songs. But there's also a part that's like the credits of like who wrote what and who is to contribute to like all the songs. Okay, here we go. So if you see on these pages, these are the credits. Like, these are all the other people who contributed to writing the songs on Renaissance. It wasn't, Beyonce didn't write most of these songs. Beyonce didn't do most of the like audio. She wasn't the audio technician. She didn't do the beats. Like, she didn't even write the lyrics, not to most of the songs. When I looked up the songwriters, the lyricists, the audio technicians, the best people in music across genres. This is blues, country, hip hop, rap, techno, trap, EDM, wrote on Renaissance. Cuff It won the awards that it won because it was the best, not because of anything else, not because of Beyonce's name, not because of her popularity, because it was the best. Like, the best people got together and then they wrote Renaissance, which is why, I mean, Renaissance should be, like, I think that next year Renaissance is going to be up for more stuff. Like, I really believe that, like, the visuals for Renaissance are going to come out this year, probably by the end of the year, maybe like one or two. And so then at the next year's Grammys, it's still going to be nominated for stuff, because Beyonce has 3 acts with Renaissance and we're not even through act 1. So I think you guys are going to be surprised at like how many awards Renaissance actually wins and how legendary the project is going to be just because of who worked on the project. There's no way in hell that people who are that monumental in music are not going to get their shit, because it's not just Beyonce. Beyonce was actually maybe like the mastermind behind the project, but in this case, Beyonce she got her A-team together. And that A-team consisted of everyone in music. So this person who's coming on and giving all these critiques of Renaissance is actually giving these critiques of the music industry, which is very clear that she doesn't know anything about. Dua Lipa, I didn't even hear the album that she's referring to. She gave it all of these acclaims. She's like, oh, I love this song. The song is so good. The song is actually so shit that I haven't even heard it. Any music that's like really good, I've heard it. Dua Lipa had that one song, New Rules. That was a great song. That was Dua Lipa's best song by a long shot. That's the best thing that she's put out. Besides New Rules, I'm not even sure why Dua Lipa is still here. Maybe she's still here just because there's like no one else. There's just no other pop stars even competing with her. Like Rihanna hasn't put out anything in a very long time. And I don't even know if you can consider Beyonce like a pop star at this point. Like she's transitioned all the way into techno. Her album is like it's like an EDM album. So I don't know. Like I don't know if we can consider Beyonce a pop star. She is a pop star, but like this is not a pop album. This is like a techno EDM album. It's a house music, right? Like Plastic Off the Sofa might be like an R&B song, but it was written by Sabrina Claudio, who's like super R&B. So yeah, I don't even know. The album is like crossing so many genres, and it sounds like the girl was talking about, she was trying to classify the album as hip hop. It's just like, girl, can you make yourself sound any worse? Like you literally sound like you don't know music. So I think maybe if you're watching my channel, maybe just be clear, like some people don't know music and you're just listening to them giving their critiques. I think they should continue to give their bad opinions just so that you can listen to people who actually know music. That's why you have that guy from like people who work like Apple Music, and they're like giving they're interviewing artists and giving their opinions with artists like Ebro, or the other guy from the Apple Music podcast. I can't remember his name, but those are people who have like worked in the music industry. They have made music themselves. They have been listening to music for a very long time. They've heard a lot. That isn't this woman. Like, I agree with Kimberly here when she says that like what that woman says was like anti-black. I would agree too, because she gave no actual criticism of the music itself. All of the criticisms that she gave about the artistry were ill-informed and kind of coming from a place of musical retardation. And honestly, it's really disrespectful to people. It's like if you were criticizing Renaissance at this point, you really need to come correct, because you have maybe read the credits. Like I showed you guys who wrote on the album. You guys are critiquing some of the biggest names in musical history. You're critiquing people who have like 78 Grammys who wrote on Renaissance. It isn't just Beyonce. Beyonce is not a main writer on Renaissance. Yes, Beyonce is singing the songs and Beyonce is holding the mic, but Beyonce is not the main contributor on Renaissance. This project is going down in history probably as one of the greatest musical projects maybe ever, because we haven't even gotten visuals for it yet. All we have are the tracks, which are great. Every track on Renaissance is great. If you're a person who's like, oh, I don't like house music, I still don't think you could listen to it and be like, it's bad. I just got to say that.